In this example, we're going to use StatCrunch to determine the areas, or also called the probabilities and proportions, of our areas that are either to the left or to the right or in between our z-scores. So first thing is first, if we want to find a z-score, we need a data value, which is x. We also need the mean and the standard deviation. So for example, if our data value was 88, our mean was 90, and our standard deviation was 2.1, in order to find the z-score, we would take 88, subtract 90, divided by 2.1 to give us negative 2.08333, which would give us approximately negative 2.08. And if we want to find the area to the left of that, then this is what we would have to do using StatCrunch. So we would come into StatCrunch, okay, and then we would go to Stat and then go to Calculators, and then we're going to scroll all the way down to where we see Normal. Okay, this represents our normal distribution. When we convert it to a z-score, we need to make sure that the mean stays at 0 and the standard deviation is 1, because this becomes the standard normal distribution. And so down here, if we want to find the area that's going to be less than negative 2.08, we're going to make sure that the less than or equal to is selected, and we're going to put in here negative 2.08. And then once we select compute, we should get the probability or area over here, which should match or come close to 0.0188. So if you look here, if we round that to 4 decimal places, then we would get the same area here as 0.0188, and it gives us the area to the left. Okay, now, in order to find the area to the right, what we would do by hand is by taking the value of 1, which is the area under the curve, and subtract the area to the left, which would give us 1 minus 0.188, which would give us an area of 0.9812. So let's take a look at how we would do that. Over here, all we would need to do is change this to a greater than or equal to, so you can see that everything is shaded to the right. And if we take a look at the probability, we're going to get the same thing, 0.9812. Okay. Now, let's say that we want to find areas in between two z-scores. So let's say we had one data value, which we've already found, which was 88, and we converted it to a z-score, called it z-score 1, which was negative 2.08. And let's say we have another value of x, which is 93, using the same mean and standard deviation. To find that z-score 2, we plug in 93, subtract 90 divided by 2.1 to give us 1.428. Rounding that to 2 decimal places gives us 1.43. So picture-wise, what we want to do is we want to find the area that's in between negative 2.08 and 1.43. Now, if we were doing this by hand, we would subtract the area to the left of z2 minus the area to the left of z1. But if we're using StatCrunch, we're going to come over here and we're going to select between. And then over here, again, we make sure the mean is 0, the standard deviation is 1. So we're going to put in the value on the left, which is negative 2.08. And then the one to the right is 1.43. And then let's compute to see if we get the same area. So we get 0.9048, but we would round that up to get 0.9049, which is slightly different than what we get over here, which is going to happen when you're dealing with technology as opposed to doing it by hand. So therefore, these are the 3 ways that we can use StatCrunch to find the areas, whether it's to the left, whether it's to the right, or whether it's in between.